Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cinema Smackdown, and it is our first episode of 2024. Now, as of this point, we are officially on the road to the Royal Rumble, and this past week in WWE, a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of things were made official. So, let's not waste any more time and jump right in. Before we get started with everything in this week's episode, I would like to give a friendly reminder that on Sunday, January 28th, I will be uploading my first vlog episode for my weekend trip out in Tampa Bay for the Royal Rumble. So that that's out of the way, let's start with the biggest thing that happened at day one. As the name implied, Monday Night Raw this week took place on January 1st, hence it being called Raw Day 1. But out of everything that happened on that night, from Rhea Ripley retaining against Ivy Nile to Seth finally being Drew McIntyre once again, the biggest thing was that Triple H confirmed that a former WWE champion will be returning at day one. And when we finally got to that part of the show, it was Jinder Mahal. And I don't care what anybody says, Jinder Mahal coming back is a great thing. We'll just have to wait and see where he goes from here, but it's going to be exciting. But after Jinder Mahal was trash-talking on the microphone, sure enough, because he was in Pasadena that week, The Rock has showed up onto the scene at day one, and he just whooped Jinder Mahal's candy ass up and down that ring. But it didn't really stop there, because he was having a moment with the crowd in San Diego about how he was feeling a little hungry and he wanted somewhere to eat. So he asked the crowd if he should sit in a booth, sit at the bar, or sit at the head of the table. In that moment, it felt a little too good to be true. But ladies and gentlemen, the seed has finally been planted for Rock versus Roman in the WWE. Now, everyone's hoping that would happen in the main event of WrestleMania. Some are also even saying Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia. I'm just happy that we're finally getting this match. I would also like it to happen at WrestleMania, but I'm not in charge of the booking, so don't get mad at me if it doesn't happen at Mania. But yes, that is basically the elephant in the room that I wanted to address. The Rock is back, and he has set his sights on Roman Reigns. That's really it that I want to talk about from day one. But a lot of stuff happened the next day at NXT New Year's Evil. Honestly, going into New Year's Evil, I couldn't have been more excited, because the main event was Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. At least, that's what it was supposed to be. Unfortunately, Ilya Dragunov wasn't cleared to compete, and they had to call off the match at New Year's Evil. But look, Tuesday I was visibly frustrated that this match got canceled. I was, and didn't say everything I wanted to say, but really it's almost like I got robbed. Anyways, so after it was confirmed that he wasn't cleared to compete, suddenly Grayson Waller comes onto the scene to a visibly upset Trick Williams. Now, I understand Trick's frustrations about this whole thing, but Grayson Waller almost had no point coming back here to NXT. Eventually, Mello spoke for Trick and put his number one contendership on the line in a one-on-one match against Grayson Waller, which would be our main event that night. Trick Williams would go on to win, and he's still the number one contender. Now, after thinking about it for a moment, after I got my frustrations out of the way, this could be a good match for Vengeance Day, which is NXT's next upcoming premium live event, streaming on Peacock Sunday, February 4th from Clarksville, Tennessee. And it's not the fact of the event itself or where it is, but the fact that, or not yet, but I'm hoping that this match is going to be at Vengeance Day and is going to be the main event, because it almost feels too good to have it on a TV special. Because Trick Williams is the single fastest rising star in NXT, and this is the biggest match of his entire career, facing easily the most dangerous superstar that walked into NXT in the past 5 years or so. So it would make sense to have this booked on a premium live event. Now, if some people were to say stand and deliver, that's pushing it a little too far. So we'll just stick with Vengeance Day, because, well, at this point, it's in about 5 weeks or so. So I know that starting this Tuesday, we're definitely going to get some matches made official and start building towards Vengeance Day. But other than the NXT Championship picture, we also had Lyra Valkyria defending the NXT Women's Championship against the Women's Iron Survivor, Blair Davenport. And this match was back and forth. It didn't go as long as I expected, but honestly, the craziest moment in that match, Blair had Valkyria leaning up against the side of the announce desk at ringside, and she went for that devastating knee strike, and she destroyed that side of the table. And it was like that for the rest of the show. Ring crew didn't even bother to fix that, but I mean, I can't get mad at that. Still, that knee, though, could have driven Lyra's head right to Booker's feet. I mean, that was insane. But not as insane as about what I'm about to get to next. After that, we had, after Lyra Valkyria successfully retained her title against Blair Davenport, we had the 6-man tag team match, where it was 3 members of the No Quarter Catch crew, that being Drew Gulak, Miles Bourne, and Damon Kemp, taking on the team of LWO and a mystery partner. Now, it was supposed to originally be LWO and Dragon Lee, the NXT North American champion, but unfortunately, Dragon Lee was dealing with some visa issues, is what I've heard, so he couldn't be at NXT New Year's Evil this past Tuesday. So, the LWO had to find a new partner. When I met up with my friends, they said that there were rumors that it could have been Bad Bunny, which I refuse to believe. In the WWE and just in general, Bad Bunny is a major star. Hell, even a megastar, even. And for him to be at NXT, I'm not saying it's never going to happen. I just think it's not the right time. Although it does seem a little bit fitting. But no. A few of my friends and I stuck with Carlito, who has been out of action since the SmackDown prior to Survivor Series when Santos Escobar took him out. And sure enough, it was Carlito, and for the first time ever, he shows up in NXT. And that place exploded. It was just... You know what? It was cool. It was cool seeing Carlito. No other way to put it. But, and that's not the crazy part. Carlito being NXT is very cool and very fun to see him. But in one moment, during the tag team match, and this happened while I was out of the bathroom. I wasn't even there to witness this. You just see, I was watching it back, and I see Joaquin Wilde leap off the second rope. Probably went 12 feet in the air, and soared 5 feet away from the ring, and knocked out all their opponents. I wish I was at my seat to see this, but I wasn't. But still, the fact that this happened is crazy. The crowd absolutely lost it. At that point, it's the loudest that they've been that night. It was absolutely insane. The LWO and Carlito were able to walk away with a victory over the No Quarter Catch crew. And then sometime after that, we had the finals of the NXT Men's Breakout Tournament. It was Riley Osborne taking on Oba Femi. Now, Riley Osborne had a lot of momentum coming into this finals, not only having the support of Chase U, but Thea Hale specifically, who's grown quite an interest in Riley Osborne, and throughout the tournament, she and JC Jane would sit in the student section in the NXT arena to support Riley. But was it enough, though? I don't know. My choice was Oba Femi. And I think that choice was a little more solidified with this one chop that Oba Femi delivered to Riley's chest. It's not the most devastating one I've seen, but man, I felt it. And it just sent Riley Osborne crashing to the floor at ringside. It was thunderous. But in the end, it was Oba Femi who won and walked away as the 2024 Men's Breakout Tournament winner and now has a guaranteed contract for the NXT Championship. So, the question now remains, or I guess a few questions. When will he cash in that contract? And who will he cash it in on? It could be Ilya Dragunov, Trick Williams, or some other superstar later this year who happens to win the NXT Championship. And the same thing goes for Lola Vice with her contract, and she actually had a near cash-in this past Tuesday until she was stopped by Tatum Paxley, who has this, I don't know, she seems a little obsessed with Lyra, almost like she's desperate on starting a new friendship with her. I don't know. But anyways, Oba Femi is a 2024 Breakout Tournament winner. But yeah, that's some of the great things that happened this past Tuesday at New Year's Evil. Now let's talk about SmackDown New Year's Revolution. So it was on SmackDown New Year's Revolution where we have our first two officially set matches for the Royal Rumble. First, we have the United States Championship match, as it will be Logan Paul defending against the winner of the United States title tournament, Kevin Owens. This match is going to be good. Lately, Logan Paul, in his matches, he has been a star. And he has adapted so well to the wrestling business since bursting on the scene a couple of years ago. But Kevin Owens, I've seen multiple versions of Kevin Owens throughout his career, and I think the prize fighter is going to be the one to stop Logan Paul. I'm just going to call it right now. I want Kevin Owens to once again become the face of America. Because he made that a whole thing when he first won the United States title back in 2017. And I'd love to see that again. Maybe not exactly the same, but just for him to call himself the face of America after winning the NXT title, at minimum, that's enough for me. Obviously, I would love to see him be a fighting champion after winning the title, but that's in a few weeks. The match happens in a few weeks at the Rumble. So my prediction for that is Kevin Owens beating Logan Paul for the United States Championship. Also on that night, we had a triple threat match between LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. The winner becoming the number one contender to face Roman Reigns at the Rumble. I had my heart set on Randy Orton because ever since he came back at Survivor Series and he called out Roman Reigns, yes, it was Randy and Roman 101 that I wanted at the Rumble. But actually, we got something better. Because while they were going at it, in what was a great match, the Bloodline comes out and just starts attacking everybody. Basically, the match is a no contest, and we have no official number one contender. Suddenly, Nick Aldis comes out at ringside and talks to Paul Heyman. And he says to Paul that after Roman is done celebrating, tell him that he has earned a fatal 4-way match at the Royal Rumble. So at the Rumble, it will be Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus LA Knight in a fatal 4-way match for the undisputed Universal Championship. I know the road to WrestleMania is crazy, but I normally see the craziness happening after Elimination Chamber. This match is going to get hectic like that. But I think to win this match, I'd say it's either going to be Roman or Randy. Because thinking about The Rock calling out Roman Reigns this past Monday, I always ask my friends this question. Is the Universal Championship necessary for Rock versus Roman? Or is just the title of Tribal Chief and the head of the table enough? I don't think the title is necessary, so there's a chance it could change hands either at the Rumble or at Elimination Chamber if it is to be defended there. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just excited that I am going to be there for the Royal Rumble, and it cannot get here sooner. But that's it that I want to talk about from SmackDown New Year's Revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you this week on Cinema SmackDown. Now, next week, we're going to get back into talking about movies, as there are 2 movies this week that are coming out that I am definitely going to go and see. The Beekeeper and Mean Girls. Trust me on that one. I've seen the original, haven't seen the Broadway musical, but I feel like Tina Fey is cooking up another storm with this newer version of Mean Girls. But anyways, Mean Girls, Beekeeper, and a whole lot more wrestling business to talk about next week on Cinema SmackDown. My name is Drew Bronson. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, so be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out every Sunday. I'll see you guys next week.